Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of the podcast with myself, James Smiles, and
it's me, Dan Frowns, and I'm back on the James Smiles YouTube channel doing a podcast like 6 years later or something stupid like that.
I don't think
It's been a long time coming.
I don't think it matters how long it's been between episodes, because when the quality of a piece of media is that good, it holds itself in the test of time, I would say.
No, because if it does matter, because if like a award-winning, critically acclaimed TV show went off the air for 6 years and then came back, it would be like it would be all over the news, it would be all over social media, which begs the question: why is Coaster Chaos episode 5 not all over the news, over social media? Like, it baffles me.
Maybe it is, but like just in countries that we're not aware of.
Yeah, so we just wake up tomorrow morning and we're number one trending in Rwanda.
Yeah, if we go to Rwanda, you wouldn't even be able to walk. There'll be that many people crowding you. Dan. Or even Japan, maybe. They'll be like, Danny-chan.
Oh my god, I'm bigger than John Lennon!
What would you do if let's say you landed in another country and people did genuinely start coming up to you and like saying, oh, Dan Frowns. Like, what would your reaction, like, how do you think you would feel?
Right, do you want a serious answer or a joke answer?
Bit of both.
Okay, my serious answer is I'd be freaked out, mate. I wouldn't have a clue what to do. But my joke answer is I would, deep down in my heart, I'd be glad to know what it feels like to be Sean Sambrook.
Yeah, you reckon he revels in his fame? Do you think like Charlotte ever moans like, oh, Sean, you didn't do the dishes again, and he just goes, I'm Sean Sambrook.
Yeah, who do you think you are talking to me like that? I am theme park worldwide, mate. Come on, George, let's go to Gulliver's.
Yeah, I put bread on this table. Okay,
Talking about Gulliver's, I don't mean to go off track, but I am actually going there this weekend.
Okay, well, we could have a quick chat about Gulliver. Which one in particular are you going to,
We're
Dan?
going to the BTEC one. We're not going to the one with the wooden cut cred.
What,
We're going
Milton
to the one.
Keynes?
No, we're going. The one with the wooden cred is the one in Warrington, but we're going to the one in Matlock.
Matlock, I've got a weird story about that, if I can quickly tell you.
Go ahead, James Smiles.
So when I was a wee boy, when I was a little James Smiles, I was probably, I want to say 9, if not younger. My granddad used to harass him to take me somewhere whenever I was around his house, and he decided one morning that we were going to go to Gulliver's in Matlock. To my absolute horror, we drove all the way there and it was closed, and that's my only memory of Gulliver's Matlock. But instead, we went to a aquarium in Matlock, and then my granddad bought me some fish and chips
From the aquarium.
I didn't think about it like that before. I guess it was in
That's
education.
some pretty gnarly fish and chips, bro. You know Matlock's landlocked, yeah. You know they haven't been getting a catch of the day. They've literally just been catching it out of the ocean tank, bro.
And actually, yeah, there was this like mining museum there. Like, if you go, see if it's still there. And one of the things you could do as a child is like, it's like a soft play, but like a mining in a mine theme, and like it has noises, and it's supposed to show you like, what it was like for miners. I remember getting like halfway in and then just having a complete meltdown because I was terrified of lots of things when I was a kid, but the claustrophobia really got to me on that one. And my granddad was like trying so hard to because he's like an old working boy, he came over on a boat from Ireland. His dad was a builder, and he was just so disappointed in me because I was crying my eyes out when
Because you, unlike all the other children, did not yearn for the mines.
Well, they do now. Anyway, I totally stopped you then. So tell me more.
We're going to Gulliver's Matlock Bath.
Why?
We're taking our niece.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
it's really wholesome.
What are the standout attractions at Matlock Bath?
Log coaster.
Log coaster.
Yep.
So it's
a Cavazza Diego junior coaster that really doesn't go very high or very fast, but a cred's a cred, brother. I need
go.
I just I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie to you though. Other than the cred, I don't know any rides there. And I'm going purely to watch my niece have a nice day rather than me cred like and go mad about the coaster that they've got.
That you say that until you get there, and then the spreadsheet comes out.
Yeah.
Your eyes just like start to like what's it
I
happen?
just run away from the group. It's like, see you later, guys. 100 laps on the Cavazza Diego, mate.
How
Oh,
many
right.
how many people listening to this do you think know what a Cavazza Diego is? Because I don't think I even do.
Cavazza Diego are a very sort of like ratchet roller coaster manufacturer. I think they're from Italy. And they make what's traditionally called dragon coasters. And they're kind of like roller coasters that are a little bit bigger than your standard like caterpillar coaster, but smaller than like your standard like wild mouse or something like that. And yeah, they're really not anything to write home about. They're pretty ancient. I'm pretty sure the one that we're going on opened in like 1987 or something like that. It's really old.
Like a vintage cred.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting you to say that. You've always got something going on, haven't you?
yeah, yeah, we're doing a road trip around the Netherlands, Belgium, in a couple of weeks, which will be on my channel. So if you guys are watching want to watch us basically roam around Western Europe.
Yeah, I will say, if anyone's listening to this and hearing us for the first time, I know you might have just been hearing Dan talk about a roller coaster manufacturer that nobody cares or knows about, but it isn't just like he doesn't just do that in his videos. He's not actually just like this. Like the best way I could describe it is like train fan, like train enthusiast. Like you actually do have character and personality.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I haven't, some kind of, enjoyable traits that
Like you,
people enjoy to be around
you,
me, but
yeah, you don't just rattle off like he doesn't just sit there and talk about like the technical details of roller coasters.
I shall we start?
Yeah, sorry. So what we're gonna do is have a little chat about these following topics. We're gonna have a look at. We're gonna have a look back at the summer of 2025. So the summer we've just had. I feel like it's truly ended today with the weather. I don't know what it's like where you are.
I was driving back from Worcester today, and it was pretty torrential. So yeah, summer is well and truly dead. But that is not necessarily a bad thing because autumn is the greatest time to be a theme park enthusiast.
And that is also why we're going to be talking about the upcoming Scream season. I know you've got a lot going on there. We're also going to discuss if Merlin is really in trouble. We might play a quick game. We've got Universal GB on the horizon later in life, so we get to talk about that. And then we're going to finish up with some of our hopes for the next year. So let's start by looking back on the summer we've just had, Dan. Tell me about it. What have you fit into these last couple of months?
Honestly, James, not a lot, mate. The thing is, this is the dark reality of being someone who goes to theme parks as often as me. Um, you learn to absolutely despise summer because when you've been like going back to back to back in like April and May, and you've been getting on coasters in weekdays with like 10-minute queues every single day in the summer, you're waiting like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's not really my kind of thing, to be honest with you. Um, I've done a couple of trips. I've been over to Alton Towers a few times, and yeah, but that's pretty much it. I haven't been to Thorpe Park over the summer. I haven't even been to Chessington so far this year. So it, asking me how my summer went, I'll give you just a short sentence. I'm so glad it's over.
Yeah, I mean everything you've said there is pretty accurate. To be honest, it's just absolutely flooded with children. Oh dear lord. We actually, with Jazz, we went and did a bingo challenge at Chessington, and we. It
What
was
did
like,
you?
Yeah, we did. It was impossible, man, because like you say, it was just flooded with like school trips and families, and it's been like that all summer. So I'm totally on the same page as you with like wanting to have the summer done with. Did you not go abroad these last couple months?
No, didn't go abroad. We went to Phantasialand in April, um, which was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then we decided to kind of like cut out any abroad trips for this summer. Focus on, focus on real life for a little bit, and then go on like a big abroad trip in September.
Yeah, which I'm sure we could talk about because I haven't got fuck all happening in my plans apart from Scarefest with you in October. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so on Sunday the 14th, so not the Sunday coming, but the Sunday after, we are going to Chessington with yourself and Jade and Scott, and Jazz and Nathan are coming with us all. It'll be my first visit to Chessington this year, and I'm actually really, really looking forward to it. Jazz needs a couple of coasters there as well. She has never done Dragon's Fury or Rattlesnake, so we will definitely try and get her on those coasters. Um, Nathan will inevitably want to go on the Gruffalo because, yeah. But yeah, we're going to Chessington on the Sunday. On the Monday, we are taking the Eurotunnel out to Calais and driving up from Calais to. And here's my best pronunciation of the accommodation that we're staying in. Get ready.
Okay.
RCN Vakantiepark het Grote Bos.
Wow, that was impressive. I've got absolutely no idea whether or not that was correct, but is that Dutch?
Yeah, it means, well, RCN is the company, Vakantiepark means holiday park, and Het Grote Bos means the large forest.
That's pretty impressive. You must give yourself a pat
Yeah.
on the back for that. You'll be speaking Dutch next week.
Yeah, so hopefully all
Nurken
of my
in the
Dutch
Kurken.
Baron Achternacht and that's not actually how you say it. But yeah, so we're driving up into the center of the Netherlands from Calais. So it's about a 4 hour drive. So Monday's pretty much just a travel day.
Road
And
trip.
then yeah, and then on Tuesday we're at Efteling for our first
Nice.
visit ever. We
Wow.
are aware that Baron 1898 is actually closed for the duration of our time there, which is upsetting, but at the
But
same time we've known about it for like a month, and it just gives us another reason to go back one day. Um, on the Wednesday we're at Toverland. On the Thursday we'll be back for a second day at Efteling. On the Friday and Saturday, we're at Wallaby Holland to get our first ever RMCs, and then on the Sunday we're at Plopsaland, which we have already been to, but Rides of Happiness is a really good ride, and it's like directly en route to get home. So yeah, it's a pretty stacked week.
that's like the stuff of dreams, to be honest. That's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see everything. And now that you're doing content creation, you get to share this hopefully with lots of other people, and especially me. I'll get to watch what's going on. But that's brilliant, man. Like, what a lineup of thrills and attractions and genuine some places that are on people's bucket lists there. So that'll be
The
amazing.
the honestly the ride that I'm most excited for is Symbolica, which isn't even a coaster, but it
Well, I was
looks
gonna say
incredible.
actually that it doesn't really matter that Baron's not going to be open because there's too many other unique attractions there that like are far more special than that. Not that it wouldn't be a good cred to go on, but there's enough there to keep you entertained and to keep you excited, isn't there? Really, for you
Thing is
not to
that
feel like you're missing out.
Yeah, and I mean like Efteling is kind of like my Efteling's like my sort of my kind of park because I'm not really into like. Don't get me wrong, I love a big coaster, but I would much prioritize having like amazing dark rides, a couple of like decent coasters, but nothing crazy, and like loads of theming and lore, than just have a load of big coasters on a flat piece of land.
Yeah, 100%. I've never been, but I know that Scott went recently, and everything he put on his Facebook story and shared about it. I've not watched many vlogs from the place, but everything I've seen, it just looks so immersive, and like that's the feeling that you chase as you get older, and like if you go to lots of theme parks, is you want to feel like that I don't want to use the word magic because it's really overused, but you do kind of want to feel. It's like, you know, that when you're a kid and it's going to be Christmas and then you're trying to go to sleep and you're too excited. That's a feeling that
Yes.
you and I have probably both had for like parks like Alton Towers and things like that in the past. And now you have to level it. You have to level that up and go to places where that's going to happen. And I think Efteling is a perfect choice. So I hope you have a great time there, dude.
I'm sure I won't.
I'm sure you will. But yeah, I mean that's a lot more exciting than my plans. But I
What are
am.
your plans for September, bro?
Well, as you've mentioned, I'm going to come and see you at Chessington. I'm glad that we're going to go together, because at one point in time I thought we'd never get to go together. Everyone seemed in the chat just to kind of dislike it, but Chessington is actually sitting as my favourite UK park at the moment.
It's a worthy contender. I really like Chessington. Like, I don't go there enough that I can say I'm like ever be like bored of it, because I don't go enough. I only go like once or twice a year. Um, the coasters that they've got, albeit most of them are pretty old, they're they're all quite nicely themed. Like Rattlesnake reminds me so much of Far West at Portaventura.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know why, but it's just the
yeah,
vibe and like the
I
theme
get
in it.
that.
Like, and also, they're adding Paw Patrol, which to me is a massive selling point.
Yeah, well, maybe best to keep the cameras out of that area. But I can't. That's the one thing, is that's going to be completely opposite to Rattlesnake, which is interesting. I do wonder what their plan is with in terms of how they're gonna. Because what one thing Chesterton's quite good at is area to area, the theme kind of coming in and out, and that'll be one point of the park which will be quite jarring. But I guess it doesn't really matter too much. It's just a strange crossover. Maybe Rattlesnake will become like Rattlepaw.
Rattlepaw.
That's the best I can do.
Yeah.
Or the dog cage.
The dog cage. Book it. We need to make it.
But you know what? Right, so Chessington for me, it's earned that position because I didn't really go when I was younger. I went once as a kid, and I think some of it is the novelty of the fact that I just haven't been there a lot, and that's why, like I was just saying, eventually I'll need to find something else to to latch onto. But Vampire really impressed me. Like, by no means is it like the best roller coaster or anything like that in terms of the thrills that it offers, but when it comes to charm, it's just oozing from that ride. It's ridiculous.
It's proper like 1990s Two Swords, like that kind of vibe. Is that a Toxicator slush cup?
Well, there's no video on this podcast, but I am drinking orange juice from a Toxicated slush cup. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Um, yeah. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, um, yeah, Vampire, it definitely does like have that retro kind of Two Swords magic kind of feel about it. Like, if you ever watched the documentary, The Magic Factory, about
Yeah.
Alton Towers,
I love that. Yeah.
Vampire has that same vibe, doesn't it? Like, it's kind
Yeah.
of got that same. I don't know how to describe it. It's just that they like there was a certain era in UK theme park history where everything kind of worked.
Yeah.
1990 to like 1999, just like, well, the entire 90s really was just like the most insane period to be a theme park fan in the UK. Unfortunately, it was like a couple of years before I was born, but you know.
And that's and you say that, and the thing about the Magic Factory that always stood up to me, and I just love, is I've forgotten her name, and you'll probably know because I know what you're like with recollection and things like that. But what's the name of the lady who was operating Toyland Tours? And
Toyland Tours Dawn.
Dawn, and when they're interviewing her, she's literally smoking a ciggy.
Yeah.
That would, like, Merlin would literally have a heart attack. It's just it's such like a lovely time. It's just.
Do you know I actually met her?
Really? What?
Yeah. It's a funny story, right? So, me and Nathan were going to Alton Towers, and staying at like a local travel lodge. Do you know the travel lodge in near? Is it Trentham or Trentham in
Yeah,
Stoke?
Trentham.
Trentham, yeah. So we were staying at that travel lodge, and this woman is at the reception of this travel lodge, and I'm like,
Working there.
wait a minute. I was like, nah, it can't be. That can't be. So I said, excuse me, are you Dawn from the Alton Towers documentary? And she laughed and she was like, That's the most random thing. She
Oh
said, I
my
thought that
god.
she literally said, she said, I thought that that was just like a forgotten piece of media that just no one remembers about. And I said to her, like, everyone in the park community absolutely loves you. Like,
And
you're
she doesn't
such a
know.
vibe. No, she didn't know.
Someone needs to get her on a video. Someone needs to
Yeah.
interview her. Honestly, I swear to God, there's so many more things that she can say.
She's such a, and she has like yeah, she's still really nice. Like I spoke to her and she was still such a nice lady, even though all these years on. So yeah, big up Dawn.
Does she still smoke? Did you ask her?
No, I didn't ask her that.
Fair enough. You should have started. You should have started playing like the Toyland Tours theme song whenever she was working on it. Was she working there? I'm guessing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all night at the check-in desk, just do
Yeah, yeah.
do
You should have just played it from random places just to like give her PTSD and send her into like a downward spiral.
do.
That's
We
great.
have gone so much off track.
Yeah, we have. So what was like looking back at the summer? We only talked about that for like one or two sentences. But the only other thing I wanted to talk about, despite the fact that it's just been ridiculously busy, and we're both glad to be getting back into a time period where we can go on our rides without having to queue or just decide that sitting down in the gardens is more attractive. What do we think about the operations over the different parks in the UK this summer? Just one thing I wanted
Um,
to touch on.
yeah, going like going across the board. Do you mean across Merlin or do you mean across the whole UK?
Not just Merlin, otherwise it would definitely be a negative conversation. But like just across all
Oh,
of the UK.
it's no, but the thing is, it's not Merlin. It's Alton Towers. That's where the problems are.
Yeah.
Like Thorpe Park, all of their coasters are pretty much open every day.
Mm.
Um, Chessington, you might have a bit of downtime on Rattlesnake, but that's, I mean, it's like an old Wild Mouse coaster. Um, but typically, the only park that's been struggling over the summer is Alton Towers, which
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
it's a
sad
shame.
because like the topic comes up so often. I almost feel bad for having to talk about Alton Towers doing some like being in like being just in the negative conversation, but it's really hard to avoid when, like for example, when I've been over the summer, both times since the sky rides had all of that work done to it, I've been unable to go on the sky ride, even though it's been
Yeah,
reopened.
I've not been on it either.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I've not been on it either. Um, it has been open whilst I've been there, but only for like a little bit, and then it'll close because there's like a tiny little bit of wind,
Yeah.
or you know.
Well,
But I do actually say in one of my videos, I make a bit of a joke about how it's literally like closed in all types of weather, which is true.
yeah.
They're very sensitive on the weather.
Well, at the moment, yeah. When I was just at Alton Towers this last week, there was a point in the day where there was a big gust of wind and some rain, and then half an hour later, every single ride. I think I sent a photo of it into our group chat, but every single ride was closed. They'd closed the queues for everything, literally everything. Well, all of the roller coasters is what I'm mean, and I was just like, to me, it didn't matter because of the amount of times that we visit and things, but I could totally understand why it's pissing people off because to some degree, I accept that weather can be an important factor in why you would need to cease operation of a ride, but it just seems like it just seems like almost it'd be too coincidental for every roller coaster in the park to close after one gust of wind. Like there must be some deeper rooted issues because that's just not normal.
Yeah, and like there are people who, you know, go to Alton Towers, let's say like once in a calendar year, and they, you know, they save up, they go to Alton Towers, they have it planned for months, they're counting down the days. You know, we've all been there,
Yeah.
and and it must be such a shame to turn up and the park's only open from 10 till 4, and for like 3 of those operating hours none of the rides are open. It's like it's just sad.
It has happened far too like if you directly compare it to one of those other UK parks, it just it would, and then you put it on a graph. The bar for Alton Towers would ride closures would be like 5, 6 times bigger than the other ones. I'd even praise
Yeah,
the park's operations this year. Every time I've looked at the queue times, they've been like, even in like on the peak days, the max queue time I've seen has been like 60, sometimes 70 minutes, and then a lot of the rides are on 40, and that's pretty good for summer holidays.
yeah, that is really good. Yeah,
So not bad at all. I don't think there's anything else that I want to say about the summer. It's been a bit of a flash, to be honest.
yeah.
Nothing that nothing that
I'm I'm
eventful.
I'm I'm just done with summer now. Just roll on September and October and the start of November. Absolutely love fireworks. But anyway, that's a different story.
Well, you mentioned October. Why don't we talk a little bit about what we've got in terms of scares this year? It doesn't have to be necessarily theme park related. I want to hear all about what you're going to be doing at your what's it called again?
There's lots of things that we'll be doing.
Well, go on.
Which one? I don't know which one you're referencing.
It's like a, I don't know, what, Extreme Scream Park or something is it called?
No, Extreme Screen Park is dead to me.
Oh. What happened?
We went to Extreme Screen Park in 2020, and it was the best event I have ever been to. It was incredible. So we went twice that year because we loved it so much. And then we went back in 2021 and it was equally absolutely amazing. Loved it. Went in 2022. I have no idea what happened, but that event dropped like a bag of spuds, mate.
Oh
Like
no.
the operations were terrible. They'd send through groups of like 40 people, and when they'd send through these groups, the groups would end up merging with each other. So it was no longer a scare maze; it was just a queue line through the scare maze, and it was and that was the same for every single maze.
do, do,
So we were very very feathers ruffled in 2022. Went back in 2023, and it was even worse. So we were like, we actually put up a very angry post on Instagram. You've ruined what is an amazing event. Never coming back. And stuck to my word, actually. Never been back since.
Right, so now I know what's not on the cards for you then this October. What about that's crazy. I wonder if they got too big for their boots or something. But what tell me about what you are doing outside of theme parks this October, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm planning on doing.
Okay, cool. So on the 11th of October, we have actually been gifted tickets to an event up in Yorkshire, which I am so grateful
Is
for,
this
considering how
Doncaster Fear Factory?
it's not actually. It's an event called Screams, and it's at a country park in Skipton, and it is very far away from home. But the fact that we've been invited to that actually means so much to me, and I'm so looking forward to it. I don't know anything about the event. I don't know whether you're allowed to go in the mazes multiple times. I don't know whether it's like I know nothing about it. I don't know any of the themes, but I'm really looking forward to that. We're also going to go up to Blackpool Pleasure Beach that day because we need to kind of fill the day with something. Um, and then after that, we will be doing Tully's Shocktoberfest, which is always a bit of a staple. We love that event. It's so big and there's so much to do there. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you imagine like Reading or Leeds Festival, but as a scare event, that's what Tully's is. It's huge. So yeah, we can't wait for that.
Hold that thought. That
Um,
is that the one that you're spending the most money on? That you've bought like this. Can you please explain that to everyone listening?
we've bought a ticket. It's kind of like a thing. Each year, we tend to buy like the VIP ticket, which gives you like unlimited fast track and stuff. This year, we've been a little bit tactical about it, and we've gone for the one just below that, which is the entry and 12 fast tracks.
12 is a lot. How much stuff is there to do?
There's 10 mazes there.
Fair enough.
Um, and then it's like gives you an extra couple. But the thing is with Tully's is you can go on the mazes as many times as you want. So you'd think, oh, if you can go on them as many times as you want, you get the unlimited one. Honestly, bro, probably not worth it because when we go to Tully's and get the unlimited, we'll get one run through on every single attraction, and then we'll probably get maybe 3 or 4 reruns in Fast Track, and then the night's over because there's so much to do there. So it just makes more sense to go for the one below, in my opinion. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. There's some really, really good mazes there. There's one called Wastelands Penitentiary, and it's themed to like this post-apocalyptic sort of dystopian prison where the prisoners have broken out, but it's all like very, it's all very kind of like what's the word? There's a specific word for like cogs and like
Steampunk.
bronze steampunk. That's it. It's very steampunk style.
No.
And it's just a really really cool maze.
How did so I mean fantastic anyway and the offering you've got there for these things, but I've never actually been myself to a scare event outside of the theme park, so help me understand what the main differences are between the kind of scare maze you'd get in the theme park and the ones that you can experience at these places.
It really depends where you're going. If you're going somewhere like Tully's, then there's quite a distinct difference between if you went somewhere like um, just off the top of my head, like when Gloucester near me had Frightmare, there's quite a huge gap between the two. But if you're going to like Tully's or Thea or um, uh, all of these sort of like individual places that are still quite high up on everyone's list, um, they put a lot of effort into the theming. They put a lot of effort into the acting. I mean, the acting quality in some of these mazes are really impressive. Um, there is a particular maze that I would love to give a shout out to. There, it's called Malefica, and it lives at Thea, which is near Bristol, and the acting quality in that maze is just like second to none. It's themed to like a nunnery, but like a satanic kind of like it would be it's Louise's worst nightmare. Because, like she would never do that maze. But it is a beautiful the theming, the
So
storyline,
are you
the
saying
acting.
are you saying that then that the theming is and the level the quality of the acting is just better at these places compared to the theme parks?
I think it's more intimidating because at theme parks it's a very controlled environment because it's a multinational corporation in Merlin. They put these scare mazes on, and don't get me wrong, the production quality is amazing. Like the music, the special effects, the makeup, the costumes, they're all like very professional. Um, you don't get that at these individual events, but what you do get is like a ramped up level of like psychotic rage from the actors. Like
Right, right.
it's just a lot more of a full on experience.
Well, I'm glad you've got me tingling a little bit. That sounds completely. That's not. Let me let me just rephrase. You've got me a bit excited there because I found out the other day that where I'm living now that there's a scare attraction like that nearby called the Howl in Leighton Buzzard,
Yeah.
and I was like 40 quid a ticket, and I was like, what? That's like for a VI like not VIP like a good ticket. So I'm definitely going to go there since it's not very far away, and I'm really
That's
looking
one
forward
that
to it.
that's one that I've never actually done before, but it is made by the same people as Tully's. So you will definitely be in for a really good night if you go to the Howl.
Well, we're gonna have to catch up afterwards and then do another podcast and talk about it. But
Yeah, definitely.
that's my only outside of the theme park sort of scare maze. I'll obviously do Fright Nights and Alton Towers this year. I'm a bit sad that Chessington isn't doing a scare event this year like they did a couple of years back because I'm sad that I missed that. I've heard lots of good things about it, but let's just
Creepy
talk.
Caves,
Yeah,
Creepy
apparently
Caves, amaze. Oh wow, so good, so good.
it's a shame they've decided to axe that. Really,
I can understand why though, because of the family market and stuff.
I heard it was pretty scary.
It was very full on. There was like pyro inside the maze and everything.
Oh wow, pyro inside the maze. It's
Yeah,
dangerous. Sounds dangerous.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Right, so let's talk about what we've got then. So Alton Towers. First of all, we get Tiny's Revenge returning again, and we
Tony's
have
Revenge.
what's it called?
I thought you said Tony's Revenge.
Not Tony.
Oh, Tiny,
I don't think I'd be as scared of Tony actually.
Big Tone,
Big Tone, well, Little Tone,
Tiny Tone.
but yeah, Tiny's Revenge, which is just Skin Snatchers, slightly adjusted. We'll talk about this in more detail in a minute, but the other maze is the compound, which is a returning maze. I didn't do that, but it's not like a long time returning maze. I think it was only last year that was last year its first year, and I didn't
That's
go
good.
to Scarefest last year, so I was going to talk to you a little bit about this one because it's the one I'm most anticipating. Um, just be-
Yeah,
I love the Nemesis theme. I really liked Project 42. I was quite sad that we didn't see that returning. I mean, I understand now because Subterra's open, but
this is how long me and James have been friends. We actually did Project 42 for the first time together.
and
Um,
it's terrifying.
we we were traumatized. Like that maze was so full on. Yeah, I really remember being freaked out during that.
It's something I hope to see again in the mazes because the way they had placed the actors was very. It was like they surrounded you rather than from like going from one room to the next and then having a jump here and there. You were just constantly surrounded. You were never safe. There was someone behind you or in front of you pretty much the whole time, and it was very claustrophobic because you were going
Yeah,
through that old building. It was so good.
yeah, it was a huge like sensory overload. I remember it just being a little bit too much for me because at the time I was only 17 and I hadn't had a huge amount of experience in scare mazes. So it was like it was one of the scariest.
And you probably had 2 hours of sleep. So
Yeah.
if you add it all together, it's more you're almost more frightened. But I'll come on to that in a minute as well about why I think that the offering for this year isn't as. I know we had a little like debate about this already, but I do think it's important to talk about. I just want to let's remember Project 42, um, being in existence, and then yeah, the other one is Edge of the Forest, which I haven't done any research into, so I'll let you take over now, Dan, and tell me about these three mazes. What have we got this year at Alton Towers?
Yeah, so Edge of the Forest is the one that I'm most looking forward to. Because I'm traditionally really into kind of like earthy, foresty kind of like my three favorite things when it comes to horror themed attractions is anything like foresty, werewolves, stuff like that. Um,
Big
anything to do with ghosts or spirits, and anything to do with like Victorian stuff. So I was really gutted about the attic going because I really loved that maze. Um, but Edge of the Forest kind of ticks two of those boxes because from what I can gather, it's not actually related to 13, other than the fact that it's set in the Dark Forest. It's basically about a beast or a demon or something of that description that lives in the forest, and you're kind of like trying to figure. I don't actually know what the message of the maze is. I just know that it's about a demon, the dark forest, and there's something to do with trees or something.
yeah, like I've seen that there's like tree monsters in the scare zone.
Yeah.
I'm really
Um,
excited for it as well. It's nice to have something completely fresh from Alton Towers, which I wasn't really expecting just because of the movement they've had around in their entertainments.
yeah, and I mean, like a thing that Nathan mentioned to me before was that he wasn't happy with the fact that they've based it off a ride. But to me, from my understanding, it isn't. It's not in relation to 13. It just happens to be called. It has the little tagline, "A Dark Forest Story," which I quite like because I feel like they're like tying it in. But I don't think it has
Yeah,
anything to do with
one,
13.
I'm completely with you on that. I mean, it probably doesn't, but even if it did, I don't think that's a bad thing because this is from what I've seen. If Alton Towers becomes interested enough in one of its areas to care about like a storyline, then that's good for all of us, because if you look at Forbidden Valley now, it's an excellent place to be, and the rest of the areas need that, but I just don't think they're interested in them. So if this is like the start of something for the dark, if this maze is just the start of something bigger for Dark Forest, which I know there's a real stretch, but if there's just more
And
of what.
let's not forget, they have traditionally in the past made mazes that have been hinting towards new investments. I'm not saying that there's going to be a new coaster in the Dark Forest with the state of Merlin at the minute, which we will touch on later.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think that will happen. But
but they're
the
interested in it.
sanctuary, you had the sanctuary lead into the Smiler, you had the welcoming lead into Wicker Man, and now you've got Edge of the Forest, which I'm not, again, I'm not saying it's going to link to
No,
any particular new investment, but
it might not, but but like it does show you that they've got people thinking about it. Like even if it's not a new ride, there's interest in that area. So that's just a good thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna have some. I think Alton Towers will use this maze because there's not a huge offering this year. I think they'll make sure that it's. I think there'll be a lot of hard work that's gone into making sure that it's special for people, and they come out and it's a big enough event in their day that even for enthusiasts and people that do this all the time, that there's not like they've got like what am I trying to say, that there's not as much hate or negativity around the event, because from the get go, you know what theme park enthusiasts are like. There's gonna be negative things being said, but if they make a maze, if they've put special focus and on they make a maze good enough to win people's hearts, then it could like be a good thing for the event.
what I will say in response to what you just said is you said it's not a very big lineup. I'd actually argue it's probably the most stacked lineup in the last few years at least. Um, because if you go back to like last year, you had the Attic, which had returned after like 6 years. You had Altonville Mine Tours, which has been like it. I mean, Altonville Mine Tours has been running for longer now than Terror of the Towers, What Lies Within, what did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But so like, although you had Attic, Mine Tours, and Compound, and Daz Games.
But there was
Um,
still more.
yeah, but you didn't have any scare zones last year. This year you've got two scare zones that have replaced Daz Games.
The only reason why I say it the way I do, Dan, is because like I do understand what you're saying is not factually incorrect, but I'm not just taking a snippet of 5 years into consideration. Like for me, I'm remembering what made Scarefest exciting and special and to me, and that's why it still feels not disappointing. That's the wrong word, because I'm looking forward to it, but that's why it feels small to me. Just because there was
Yeah.
a time when you had all of that and extra mazes, and like you shouldn't go backwards, you should go forwards.
Yeah, and if you go back to like 2015, I remember when me and you did like What Lies Within, Molly Crow, Subspecies, and
Yeah, what a trio.
that was like the best three. Like even Molly Crow, like it got so much hate at the time, but if you bought that out at Towers now, people would absolutely lap it up. Like there was something about my first run through with you on Terror of the Towers, What Lies Within, where you're just lining up in the towers and you've got that big screen with the guy, the urban explorer who like falls
Oh
over and
yeah,
drops his camera, like, and it was so loud, and
yeah.
it was like and then it was like you're venturing deeper into the towers. Like that maze had like a different kind of aura to any other maze like ever in the world. Like it
It
was just
it
so good.
it really made you feel like you was in the towers, like as opposed to this is my problem with the attic, is like it was a good maze, but it was a little bit too. They lent too much on physical theming that rather than like the natural theming, like with the within, like that was you were just going through rooms that looked like straight out, like they just found them like that.
Yeah,
It wasn't over cartoony. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Which the attic was a little bit more cartoony, which there's nothing wrong with, but I think that's where that special feeling comes from.
it felt like very real.
It really did. I'd
Yeah.
completely forgotten about that moment where you're at the start and then you're in the room with the urban explorers until now. You know what really got me about that maze was when you walk down the corridor where they've got the armor down the corridor,
Yeah,
and there's no actors in that bit, but you just expecting one of them to move, and it just puts you right
and
on
that
edge.
and that music piece in the finale with the chain link fences and the strobes
Uh,
and the vampires, like that music is still to this day one of the scariest pieces of music that they've ever had in a scare maze. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it has you on edge
And then
so much,
and then
and
you. Sorry, carry on.
yeah, and it's just it would. I'd like to think. Have you ever heard of the phrase nostalgia merchant?
Not nostalgia merchant. No.
Like people who say that things were better back in the day because they remember it more fondly because they were
Oh
younger.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Like I like to think that that's not the case and that it actually was just an amazing maze. But you know,
I
if I was,
you're right though. That you're not. It's not. They were better.
yeah, I'd like to think that if I was 15, 16 in today's lineup, I probably wouldn't have been as on edge and scared as if I was back when I was actually 15, 16, and we were getting on mazes like the Sanctuary and Terror of the Towers and Subspecies and stuff.
Subspecies, dude. Like it took me 3 attempts to go inside that maze.
We nearly bailed.
I did bail once before we went on it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Terrifying, like unmatched, because I don't even know exactly what it was. I think there's so many elements, but I just feel like one of the reasons why it's not as imposing now is because we live in a world where people have to feel safer from the get go, just as part of the customer
yes,
experience. And
yeah,
back then, I feel like you could there was a little bit more anticipation about where you're going to be moved, where you're going to be dragged, where you're going to be touched. That doesn't really happen
yeah,
nowadays, but that did happen then, because in subspecies you'd get rough and tumbled big time. Like it wasn't just like a pat or an ankle tap. Like I remember going through the tunnel and being pulled backwards through the tunnel by my legs.
by my ankles. Yeah, that happened to me. There was so there I was crawling through. It might have been when I was with you, but I was crawling through one of the tunnels, and I'm sort of looking at my hands because it's so dark that I'm trying to figure out where I'm putting my hands whilst I'm moving. And I hear like in the tunnels it's a little bit quieter because you don't have the loud bassy audio, and I hear someone breathing. So I literally look up and I'm face to face with an actor who literally licks me from about my
Oh, I
cheek
remember
all
this.
the way up to my forehead. Like, so licks me over my eye all the way up to my forehead. And then he goes, bye bye, and laughs. And then I feel a hand on my ankle and I get dragged backwards through this tunnel.
The actors were I think everything about the entertainment team was better back then because you had a better lead. I forgot his second name, but
Pete Cliff.
Pete Cliff had events at the
Yeah.
time, and I think just the combination of people that were working on those mazes definitely proves that it wasn't just a nostalgia merchant moment. That they were better. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd agree.
but Edge of the Forest, because that's something that's new. You know, I hope that we do see more of the multiple choice options again in the future with mazes, because that was one thing that you've just reminded me of with Subspecies, where you've got the tunnel on the left and then a door that slides, and there was an actor there, and then you'd go through the second finale. I don't necessarily need there to be two finales in Edge of the Forest. I just want to see more multiple choice ways to go, because the word maze is kind of lost on modern scare mazes. They're more like scare walkthroughs rather than mazes.
Yeah, so obviously, as you know, Compound was built in a new structure,
Yeah,
and Edge of the Forest has been built in that same kind of structure. And those types of structures were originally introduced with survival games at Thorpe Park.
right.
So any maze that Merlin operate that are built into those structures are multi-route.
Perfect. That's great to hear.
Yeah, so they are multi-route.
I've not done so. That Compound for me is the first time this year. Can you tell me about what that was like?
Yeah, so Compound, I'll bring it back to survival games. Compound and survival games are really similar mazes in the sense that they work in a way where you can kind of like you all start in a. Do you want spoilers?
I think I'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think it will spoil it too much for me. I'd like to know.
Okay, so you start in like a circle and you get put into cages, and then those cages, you're sort of standing there just waiting, and then you'll get basically grabbed out of this cage from behind you and
Oh,
then told
nice.
to move into the maze. Now that's the same on compound and survival games.
Subspecies
Um,
is a bit like that as well.
yeah, so it's not too dissimilar. But then you'll kind of like reconvene and the paths will come together and then they'll like fork off again and you can kind of like choose your path. One will take you into one particular scene, one will take you into another. You'll do your kind of thing on two separate paths and then you'll reconvene together and it kind of like flows like in and out of each other.
Got you.
So there are probably like three or four different scenarios that you can see when you're in that maze, but the finale is always the finale.
Don't spoil that bit for me. But is it a good finale?
It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a full blown, massive, big scare, no. But if you're looking for like a really cool like finale with like loads to look at, then yeah.
All right, that sounds good. That's my most anticipated one, I think, because I subspecies like that genre of horror for me is the one that scares me the most. So I know that
Like
I'll
that militant kind of
like yeah.
chemical.
Old Phalanx was terrifying.
Yeah,
Subterra, that's what I would say. Not modern Subterra because they don't put enough effort into directing how the staff on the ride should pose themselves.
yeah,
But that sort of yeah, just alien threat, biochemical hazard, close quarters, yeah, military that doesn't care about you. They just want to cover up any secrets that lie within, and that shit's scary.
yeah. But no, I think personally, um, you will really, really love Compound, and we will have a great time going on Edge of the Forest together and get first reactions
It's just the
together
name.
for it.
Every time you say, "I'm just too immature for the name Edge in the Forest."
Yeah, that's definitely going to be coming up in the vlog, though, isn't it?
Oh, he's gonna have to. We went edging in the forest is probably my next vlog title. Edging with my friend Dan in the forest.
Oh,
Well, that's Alton Towers anyway. What's going on over at Thorpe Park this year? I don't actually know.
nothing's really changed. So you've got Stitches, which is the toy shop themed maze, which is actually one of the best mazes in the UK, in my opinion. Really, really good. Um,
Yeah, the costumes for that one are actually really really good.
yeah, and then you've got Survival Games, which is actually one of my least favorite mazes in the UK. It's just never really hit for me. Um, you've then got Trailers, which is a bit of a classic now. It's been running for quite a few years,
Yeah,
and you've also got the new for last year nightclub themed maze, Deadbeat.
Deadbeat's the only one I haven't done.
Yeah, Deadbeat's really good. It's not the best one there. I'd still say Stitches is my favorite, but Deadbeat is really good.
I'm looking forward to doing that one. But so there you go. That's one more maze than Alton Towers as well.
Yeah, yeah, there is an extra one there.
I do think that Thorpe Park's mazes, though, like you say, Stitches is really good. I feel like they don't have to try as hard this year in terms of like making sure it's brilliant. I think that will happen more at Alton Towers. I think things might get
E-
ramped up a bit there.
Alton Towers need to prove themselves this year that they're still an event worth going to because Scarefest has been weak
Yeah.
in the last few years.
One thing about Thorpe Park's Fright Nights is I've never actually queued up that long for a maze there. I don't know if it's just me getting lucky.
I'm like the opposite. I always have to
Really?
queue loads at Fright Nights. Yeah. So I always queue quite a lot at Fright Nights, but I literally have never queued longer than like 2 minutes at Scarefest.
The only one I queued for at Scarefest for real long recently was Toxic Junkyard.
What a maze.
Yeah, it was really good. It's a shame to see that
Loved
they've decided to get rid of the more recent one and keep Tiny's Revenge. Well, I know it's like a new name, but it is just Skin Snatchers. There's not that much difference.
Yeah, it is very similar.
Yeah, how like it's crazy how long that one's been there now. But yeah, I think that wraps up Halloween. I'm really excited for it. Not going anywhere
Yeah,
abroad personally, so yeah,
that's
looking
all
forward
right.
to that.
Who needs it when you've got edging in the forest?
I can't wait to edge in the forest. I really can't. I'm so excited about edging in the forest. What was next on my list? Maybe we'll break the. We've got a couple more things to cover, but let's break it up by doing a quiz, like a little game show thing. I've decided I want to give.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to give Dan 3 reviews. One of them will be a fake review, and the theme park of choice will be Alton Towers this time. We can do more than one round, but we'll see how you get on. Which reviews are
I
real?
I have a quick question, Mr. Smiles, before we start.
Yeah,
Is this podcast audio only?
yeah.
Because my recording device is about to die, so I'm going to put it on charge. Right. I'm ready for my quiz.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can comment if you would like to see our faces, but
You don't want to see my face. I look like a mess.
you look beautiful. You make
Ew, stop flirting with me.
like honestly, I'm edging and I'm not even in a forest. They didn't think that name through, I don't think.
No, I think they did. It's just they don't expect all of their clients to be people like us who hear the word edge and giggle.
Yeah, I mean, come on, who doesn't? Anyway, okay, Dan, get ready for Guess the TripAdvisor review. I'll read
Oh
you a
my god,
wild
I can't
review
wait.
from Alton Towers. Just say real or fake. Are you ready?
So it's 2 real, 1 fake.
Well, three. There's 3 real. I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start off nice and easy for you.
Okay.
Oh my God, where to begin? We paid £135 for 2 adults and a child to find half the rides closed. Queues for up to 160 minutes. Save your money and go elsewhere. Real or fake?
I'm gonna say that one is real.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. We spent £1,200 on a 2-day trip. My son absolutely loved this weekend, but the ride availability is absolutely shocking. Bordering unacceptable. Real or fake?
Oh. So I think it's real that a long weekend at Alton Towers could cost upwards of over £1,000.
Yeah, you're
But
right. Oh,
I don't know if people would use the term ride availability if they weren't like you know what, I'm gonna say fake.
no, you're wrong, actually. That one was real.
It's real. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Okay, last one. Well, not last one. There's 4 overall, but we'll see if you got one wrong. We'll see if you can get this one right. We queued nearly 2 hours for Galactica, only for the ride to break down just as we were about to board. Staff told us to try later, but later it was still shut. £8 for a slice of pizza and a drink finished me off. Won't be back in a hurry.
Oh, this is so hard. I'm gonna say real.
Yeah, you got that wrong as well.
Oh no.
But overall, they were all negative. So what does that say about Alton Towers at the moment? Yeah, that was a good round. That was a good game. Thanks for playing. You
Thanks.
lost.
Yeah, thank. Yeah,
You don't win today.
that's sad.
Next
Do I get
episode.
anything as like a consolation prize?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Next time we're gonna do a similar one where I'm gonna give you 3 headlines from newspapers that happened over the year, and you have to tell me which one's fake. So it's pretty similar. But I just want people to look forward to the next time we do this.
Okay.
All right, let's get this podcast on its way to the end because we've probably been talking for way too long. There's nothing wrong with that.
Can never be talking too long.
True. Why don't we talk about some okay, let me phrase this differently. Dan Frowns, you have begun your YouTube chapter of life this year, and I have posted way more on my channel as well this year. So I just wanted to sort of have a reflection of what that's been like. So first of all, my question for you is, what made you decide to start putting up some videos and sharing your trips, and How are you finding it?
I found myself surrounded by people who are too entertaining not to be documented. Um, so I was going to theme parks with you and Jade and Scott and Louise and Jack and of course Jazz and Nathan as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I was finding myself listening to conversations that we'd be having and just thinking like this is just brilliant. I also found myself in a situation where I was going to theme parks so often, but like it was no longer just like a me thing, it was like a community thing again.
Yeah.
So I made the decision to make a YouTube channel. But I think the ethos of my YouTube channel is very simple. Although I'm a massive nerd and I know way too much about the hardware at theme parks, I I try to stay away from that as much as I can in my videos because there are so many people out on YouTube who are theme park creators who zone in so much on hints and tips and roller coaster manufacturers and statistics and
Yeah.
like actual like events and things like that. And I thought no, that was is not I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing because people do need that and it is very entertaining to a lot of people. But I just wanted to go be ourselves. If I wanted to swear, that's fine. If I wanted to act like an idiot, that's fine. If I wanted to go and literally go and do a video at a theme park and not do one ride and walk through the entire park and then walk straight out the other end and then have a pint in the hotel, that's fine. And
Well,
like,
that's apparently not fine because I'm not even able to watch that video anymore, and it's absolutely genius.
excuse me. Yes, it was a very silly video, but the point I'm making is I've just I found a meaning of going to theme parks and actually saying like look like we're having a stupid time and we probably shouldn't even be here because we're paying good money to be at this place and we're not using it to its full potential, but we're having a good laugh whilst doing it. So that's pretty much why I started. And yeah, I mean from the start we kicked it off pretty big with Phantasialand and
Yeah.
everything in between. Like I did like my history videos, and we've got a huge amount of videos that are going to be coming up between now and the end of the season. Um, and it's just really weird because like I've tried to be like really like I don't know. I've tried to just play it cool, not oversell myself, not put myself on anything. Like I'll share it on my Instagram, but I just I just do it for me really,
Well,
which I know
that's
is a very
no, that's what you got to do. That's 100% what I do as well. But it's like back in the day, people would write diaries. Nowadays, it's the thing to record what you're doing, and why not share it with other people and also put it on a platform where, um, all your friends that you've actually visited with can also watch along.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also been really nice to kind of like just be creative and do something with my time that's not just like just sitting there and like watching TV or playing video games. Like it's something in my downtime when I'm not at work or I'm not visiting theme parks to kind of sit down and go, okay, I can work on this and then I can bring it out and then we can like have a little watch party with all the people that want to watch it and stuff. Like it's just nice. It's just an extra hobby on the side that I get to integrate into my existing hobby of going to theme parks. So I really like it.
I'm obviously extremely happy that you're doing it because you're an extremely funny guy, and you mentioned how you've got other people that are funnier that you're documenting, but like your humor, Dan, is just it's always felt like a secret to the world, but no longer. So thank God for that because people need to see it, and the ideas that you've been, even the ones that you've been too shy to keep on your page, I personally think that's the kind of stuff that really is unique and special to like who you are, and it's just really good. It's everything you're doing is really good, even if it's just a hobby and you're doing it for yourself. I've really enjoyed the stuff that you've made, and I always look forward to watching what's next. And like you said,
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
of course, man. And you've got so much, you've got so many trips and things that you're gonna go on over Halloween. And think about all the ones you've been on in the past, except from this time around, you'll have the ability to watch it back and relive those moments.
Yeah, I think that's something that I'm looking forward to because like me and Nathan specifically, we we've done like a stupid amount of Halloween events throughout the years, and we just we've never ever had anything to look back on. It's always just been like we did it and that was that. Whereas now, like I'm gonna get in contact with a couple of the events that we're going to, and I'm gonna see if they can like make an exception for like filming in like face cam in mazes and stuff because I know that a couple of events allow it. Um,
That would
so
be
it'd be
cool.
really good to get, yeah, it'd be really good to get like reactions on camera and stuff.
Well, there you go. Thanks, Dan, for sharing all of that with us.
No, James Smiles, thank you.
On my side of things, I obviously I've done it before, but this last year I'd taken it more seriously than ever because we did a video together where we went to Thorpe Park, and I got like 1,000 subscribers off the back of it, and it did really well. And I was like, oh shit, like people actually want to watch this, and my focus shifted from doing it for myself, for trying to create entertaining content for other people to watch as well. And so I played around with that a lot, but then I really got burnt out recently, and I've just kind of put it on hold. And I think because I still want it to be fun and something I'm doing just because I find it fun, and like you say, I want to spend my spare time editing stuff, I need to give it a rest so that I can be excited about it again.
Yeah, but I think it's nice that you've been able to take sort of inspiration and enjoyment out of theme park society as well because I've noticed that your enthusiasm for that channel has just gotten better and better throughout the months
Oh,
that it's been up.
you're actually right. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, we have this group channel where we've all of us as friends have got a theme park society, which, to be fair, Scott kind of started, but it's a fantastic idea. I think the reason why I've still got enthusiasm for that is because it's a reason to spend time with you lot, and I love you guys. So getting to do videos like that is just really fun. I do. You're right. You caught me there. I am enjoying like producing stuff for that, and there is still videos to come out for that channel, and everything that Scott's doing is great. We just need to start getting you and Louise to start uploading videos for that channel at some point.
Yeah. It's definitely something that we need to look at. I would consider, depending on how busy it's going to be, because I don't actually know, but depending on how busy it's going to be whilst we're out there, I was going to sort of speak to you guys about certain ideas that we might be able to film out in the Netherlands at some point. Um, so that would be cool to get sorted. Obviously, it's me, Jazz, Nathan, and Jazz's best friend Ellie. So I feel like that's like a nice little group of people to like film a video for TPS.
Oh, 100%, because the core of what that channel is just a group of friends. Doesn't even matter who they are, just enjoying themselves at a theme park in a different, unique way.
Yeah, absolutely. Or we can find like a really cool like interactive game to like play or something like that. But I think over the next couple of weeks I should probably put a little bit of brain power into coming up with a plan for it.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of something. The best things come off of a win, so don't worry. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a big year. We've both done so much, and Louise has just been banging out amazing content, and she's really found her niche. And
This is like this is something, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm so sorry, but
no, no, go ahead.
one thing that I will say is, and this makes me sound like I'm being a proper little suck up, and I promise you I'm not. But Louise is obviously like a really good friend of me and James, and the the absolute craft that goes into her videos is insane.
Yeah.
Like I I don't think that there's a theme park YouTube channel out there on the platform that puts as much like absolute core dedication into the editing of their videos. Like she's just improving like week on week on week on week, and she's coming out with videos that are like almost like professionally crafted. And like there's a lot of theme park YouTube channels out there that have like a significant number of subscribers to what she's got, but she's bringing out content that is like in my opinion, creatively and technically like leagues ahead of a lot of them.
I agree. I think it's only a matter of time before like the right amount of people find it and have an interest in it. She's like she takes it. I think the reason why is because she treats it as a professional thing as well. So
Yeah,
overall, you know, the quality of it is just really good. Like, I don't think you're a suck up for saying those things at all. I think she thinks that we are sucking up to her or just being like nice because we're a friend. But every comment I've ever made about the videos that she's made is like 100% genuine. I
yeah, like
have
me.
her pins on my table because I'm a fan.
Yeah, exactly. And like Jazz and I regularly have conversations about how we think Louise is just gonna like blow up one day in within the theme park community because the videos that she makes, like, don't get me wrong, they are hilarious and the actual content that she comes out with is really, really good. But it's all tied together with that like editing and the colors and and like the sounds that she adds in and like that music video like that video where she
Oh,
added
that's
all the music
so
and
good. I couldn't. Nothing could have prepared me for that. It was just so good. It was so good.
yeah, it's just stuff that you don't think about and then she just comes out with it and then we watch it and she's like, oh, thanks guys, yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
fun. And it's just like, oh man, like I'd love to be able to just make stuff like that.
But Dan, at the same time, like you know, I'm not being a suck up to you either. But considering like you just started doing it, the things that the ideas that you're coming up with and putting into practice are just as good in my opinion. Like fingers with you, you'll never believe that yourself, but I do personally feel that way, and I just feel really lucky to be friends with you both and inspired by as well. So it's a bit too wholesome now, I think.
Oh, you're cute, and you?
So let's talk about Merlin being in trouble, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about the doom and downfall.
So I want to get the statistic up real quick, but the lost how much money Merlin lost in revenue from last year to this year.
Yeah.
So just talk about something real quick while I get that up.
Ha, 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 ha. I don't really know what to talk about. Shall we talk? I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about oranges, right?
I've
So
got it
when you're,
now.
oh, okay,
All right. So Merlin Entertainment's reported a revenue of a revenue drop of £492 million.
yeah.
So that isn't normal.
I mean, it can't really be ignored, can it? It's getting to the point where I'm really struggling to put together what is going on with them because it's like it's inevitable that they are in a panicked situation and the company is struggling more than it ever has before. That's not something that is up for debate or opinion. That is fact. They are in a bad state right now. Now,
I sorry.
go on. No, go on.
I was going to say that it's something that I personally have ignored, even though I think it's something that's just been happening year after year, slowly as well. Not just like a sudden drop, but I think I just kept ignoring it. And anytime someone would possibly mention the idea that they're not doing too well, I would just kind of push it away and say, "Oh no, they're fine. You know, there's nothing wrong here." But then you do see the direct evidence of it in the parks, and then you really can't ignore it.
Well, it's like the evidence in the parks comes out, and it's like, prices going up, quality going down, things going wrong, staff members being unhappy, staff members leaving, less like investment, cutting certain things. Like you see all of those things, and you think, okay, yeah, they're in a bad state. But then it's like a nail in the coffin when it comes out and it's official that they're like millions and millions and millions of pounds in debt, and not to mention the fact that they now have their credit rating that's gone down, so they're no longer like gonna have as much as to fall back on either, despite the fact that they're already in debt. Like it just looks like it's a mess.
Yeah, it's really sad to see, and you know they will obviously this doesn't necessarily mean that this is the end of Merlin. I will point that out. It just means that they're in a really difficult situation with lots of complex problems spread across lots of different parks, and it's not something that's easy to come back from. I think we'll see a lot of management changes. We'll see a lot of restructuring in management at the theme parks. We'll probably see a less investment for a little while, and then one big investment in the future. But it's going to be a tough it's going to be a tough, I would say, even maybe even decade for Merlin Entertainments in the UK especially.
But this is the thing that kind of freaks me out because you've got parks like Paulton's Park, who are literally like reinventing the game when it comes to UK theme parks. Like they're bringing out intricately themed zones. They're now bringing out a coaster that inverts riders. Not to mention the fact that they've already got a well-established theme park that caters to a variety of different age groups. They they are slowly building themselves to become something that Merlin need to worry about. And
Yeah,
then you've also got Blackpool Pleasure Beach, who are making investments like Evictus next year, which is like a huge investment because it's quite common for a lot of theme park enthusiasts to have um, those giant gyro swings as their favourite rides. So you've got these investments coming from left, right, and centre from their competitors, and then not to mention that they've got a multinational conglomerate that's coming into the United Kingdom in 5 or 6 years' time that are literally going to take the industry by storm. And then you've got Merlin, who can't make ends meet and won't be able to make a large investment for a considerable amount of time.
I do. I do totally understand that. And it is. You are right to be worried, but I just think that they've done it with companies like Merlin. Like, okay, maybe this has been me being naive again, or just maybe trying to see what other cards they've got left to play. But I think that rather than, I mean, a business doesn't just fail. They'll have conversations and meetings, and things will change, and then they'll realize at some point that, oh, they probably already know that they have to do what you just said that Paulton's is doing, reinventing the game. They've done it before, so basically what I'm saying is that they can do it again, but they need to untangle the Christmas lights that have been twisted and put into a box and left in the attic for however many years that the park's been the company's been a little complacent, and maybe had over the years that they've ignored some of the competitors that they wouldn't have thought were gonna, I mean, change the theme park industry the way that they have. And also
Yeah,
it's the size of the park as well. The bigger they are, the more costs they have. I just think that while those things are all going to put them in, and they are in a bad position, I just think that it's not unfixable. It's just going to take time. It's going to take management restructures, and then we'll see some big investments in the future.
yeah, I think you're right, and I think it is good to be an optimist when it comes to situations like this. However, I think something that you need to look at. The thing is, you can't point fingers when it comes to things like this. You can't say that it's all down to a specific person. You
No.
can't say that it's all down to a specific park. It's a group of parks and a group of attractions that have been led by an absolute huge eclectic mix of people that have all kind of like done certain things that have led the company down the wrong path. The
And
th-
don't forget the economy as well is also part of the problem.
Absolutely, yeah, no, the economy plays a huge part in it. But one thing that I will say that is a little bit odd, and I'm not saying he's the sole reason because it's not, it's not. But do you remember like back in the day, like years ago when we used to go to Alton Towers, and it was like 2015 to 2017, and we used to like we used to really rip on Nick Varney.
Oh yeah.
The dude was a genius.
I don't remember like ripping on him that much though, because I kind of idolized him a little bit. Like
Yeah, like
that era of Merlin where they really pushed the Merlin way, which is something they don't do in the training anymore. Like all these systematic things that have changed and you don't see. That's all where these problems stem from. It's like
yeah,
you ever hear about the fable of the nail in the horseshoe?
no,
So so the story goes. There was a small. You go back to the times when you've got horses and soldiers and knights going into battle, right?
yeah,
One little nail in the horseshoe of a horse, obviously, uh, was seen, but they ignored the problem, and then the horse went into battle, and then inevitably the horseshoe comes off, causes damage to the horse, and then it's like a butterfly effect from there for the battle. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like one tiny little thing can turn out to be the downfall of such a huge thing.
Yeah, but in this case, there's like multiple tiny little things.
Yeah, it's such a like the thing is, it's such a sad reality because obviously Merlin has such a huge influence on the UK theme park landscape. Like the arguably the two biggest theme parks in the United Kingdom are operated by Merlin, and we're all Merlin annual pass holders, and we've all been Merlin annual pass holders for years, and we've always visited Merlin parks. So like you get people like me and you and loads of other theme park enthusiasts all around the country that are having this exact conversation that we're having. But the thing is, there is no immediate or obvious fix to the problem, and also none of us would have any clue on how to fix it.
No,
Like,
well, when you think about that, like as much as I love Merlin, I just don't think that they're the same company that they once were. And it sounds ridiculous, but in the cases of parks like Alton Towers, I actually I wouldn't be completely I wouldn't be completely disappointed if another company did eventually buy the park from Merlin, because it
yeah,
happened with Two Swords. It happens in business, and people don't buy places with the intent to ruin them. So it might not be like if that's a worst case scenario, but that might turn out to be something good for the park. You never know.
yeah, I think as well, like it was really really easy for people to point fingers at Bianca Summit, and I was one of those people as well. Like I was one of those people that really ripped on her, and don't get me wrong, she made some dodgy decisions, but I think the root of the problem has always been the higher ups that down in Dorset in the head office of Merlin rather
Yeah.
than her. You know, she could only work with what she got, and I think going from these established theme parks in Australia and Dubai who have like a ridiculous amount of money and can kind of invest when they want to Alton Towers who are quite frankly at the moment a sinking ship. It was unfair for a lot of people to make those comments to her, but there are also people like Jasmine who really stand by their decision and say that they don't like her.
Well, not for me. Like I've never been like because I've never really had that opinion of Bianca, but that's mainly because I think her job, whilst being a decision maker, is exactly like you said. Really, that job. You're a manager, for example. We have control over a lot of things, but on the scale that like a theme park is, if there's lots of systematic problems across the entire resort, which there already was before Bianca took over as divisional director, that was her job title, right?
Yeah,
Then it's like the analogy I used earlier. Then it's like untangling like old Christmas lights. It's a bit of it's a bit of an impossible situation. So I could never really be angry at her. And if you think about the the fact that we went from Ian Crabb, Francis Jackson, and then Bianca like really quickly. There's clearly lots
yeah,
of there's clearly lots of issues that
yeah.
are kind of out of
I
your
mean,
control.
you could put the best sea captain on a sinking ship, and he wouldn't be able to save it from sinking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously Nick Varney knew what was up years ago.
Yeah, Nick Varney was the goat.
He was like, "I'm not having this on my record." Well. Anyway, let's see what happens. I do think that Merlin have got the yes, they've lost a lot of money, but let's not forget they still also have a lot of money. Despite their credit ratings, they're a big business and they don't just disappear overnight, and they've got a lot of investment in places over the world. So I'm sure there'll be an opportunity for them to take the world back by storm. But it is interesting to just look at where they are now and then where they were in the early 2000s as the midways were opening across the globe, and they used to compare themselves to a Disney competitor, and you just wouldn't see that on paper anymore. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I wanted to talk about Universal GB and our hopes for next year before we finished. But I feel like this has already been a really long episode, and it might be good for us to talk about Universal GB in another episode. What do you
Okay.
think? And then maybe we,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if we do this again, we should definitely talk about Universal Great Britain as a bulk of the episode.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. So to finish things up, unless you've got anything you want to say, we can just go into what we're looking forward to for next year.
Yeah, so the only I'm really looking forward to Evictus at Blackpool Pleasure Beach because I really like gyro swings. Love Maelstrom. I love the one at Portland's Park, but the Evictus one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach that just looks like a whole different kettle of fish, and it looks insane. However, that being said, the thing that I'm most looking forward to next year is the new Vikings area at Portland's
Oh,
Park.
that's what I was gonna say as well.
Yeah, that's just I don't know what it is about that park. Yes, they don't have any world-beating roller coasters. Yes, they don't have like a huge mix of rides and attractions. But what they do have is charm. They care about their park. They care about theming and they care about customer experience, and that is like the foundation to a good theme park. So the fact that they're building on that, the fact that they're adding to what they've already got, and the fact that they're not scared to make an investment into a thrill market just proves to me that that park is gonna be one of the biggest theme parks in the UK in the near future.
I've got to say, I am also really looking forward to that Viking area at Bolton's Park. I'm looking forward to going back there. I've got enough money to save up for the ticket price, which is, you know, leaves some things to be desired. Does Portland's have a season's ticket?
They do, and it's about the same price as a Merlin annual pass. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, but what I will say is they don't charge you for parking, which I know doesn't sound like it's a very big thing, but me and Nathan have had this conversation 100 times. If you pay to get into a theme park, why should you then have to pay to park your car at the theme park?
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to go off topic and talk about that too much, but you're absolutely right. But
Yeah,
which is, to be honest, which is also why we never pay for a ticket, and especially at Alton Towers, you can just park in the staff car park or the hotels, and there's no need.
yeah.
But yeah, what is? I mean, for people who don't know, I'm sure lots of people do know. But what is exactly going into this new Viking area, man? What are we expecting? What are we excited about?
We're getting like a junior top spin, which is really weird. Um, it's like a non-inverting top spin,
Which
which will be
sounds,
pretty cool.
yeah, really fun to be honest.
Yeah, like I'm not worried that it's aimed at like families. Like it does look like a fun attraction. Um, and we're also getting a Gerstlauer Eurofighter with a zero G
Ooh.
stall. Like that's gonna be so cool.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I love a Eurofighter, which is why I'm so excited about that one opening because it's just another cred, another Eurofighter cred. And I didn't think we'd see one either, especially not at Portland's Park, because they've
I have
always got quite an imposing roller coaster design.
I have heard rumors though that the trains that they're using are the same trains that they had on Speed at Oakwood.
Oh, they've got it cheap, got a deal.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
interesting. But that's a weird one, right? Because the trains you would think would be something you'd replace.
And also like every Eurofighter that's been built since like 2015 has had lap bars.
Well, kids might find it easier to go on if they've got harnesses, because you know some people have that thing of it's safer, even though it's not. Well, it's the same. But you know how like the fear thing. Like for example, Jade, she won't go on a ride with lap bars because she's too scared.
Right, yeah. No, that makes sense. From a marketing strategy, it actually makes more sense for them to have over the shoulder restraints.
Possibly, yeah, but it would be annoying. I would have preferred it to have lap bars, obviously.
But yeah, and either way, it looks like an incredible area. I can't wait to go.
Same. I'm looking forward to that one. And then the other one that I'm looking forward to, which is just the new World of Frozen in Disneyland next year, Disneyland
Oh yeah,
Paris.
that looks so good.
It
I need to get out to Disneyland Paris because it's been about 15 years since I last went.
Oh, you're gonna have to go. You really are. You really are.
Yeah, I haven't like seen. There's so many things that I haven't done there.
So there's that, and then also we should start seeing more work with Universal Great Britain as well happening. So that'll just be exciting to see, and that's just going to be incremental, of course, over the next 5 6 years. But it's still exciting. And then the other thing that I'm looking forward to next year is I should have the freedom to do a lot more. Like you guys have been abroad a lot this year, and I'm really hoping to do the same with my time next year. So I'm going to try and slot a lot of parks in. I'd like to do my own version of like a European trip.
Yeah,
And I
it's
really want to go to Universal Orlando next year, so I'm gonna try and do that.
yeah. I'd love to go there. I don't think it's on the cards for next year, to be honest with you, for me. But I it's definitely something that I need to do. Hopefully before Universal Great Britain opens, so I can like compare them.
Yeah, some people. It's funny you mentioned that. Some people are like worried that it's not going to be on the same caliber just because it's British, but I don't have that fear at all, to be honest.
No, I saw a TikTok of a guy saying, "So do you really think that Universal, who hold a particular standard about themselves, are going to say, oh, we're just not going to put the effort in because British people are used to mediocrity?" It's like,
Yeah,
no, like,
no, of course not, of course not. But yeah, it's going to be a great year, 2026. I hope.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm always looking forward to a new year, new investments, seeing what's going on. I think that's the beauty of being a theme park enthusiast, though. Like, no matter what year it is, there's always something new.
George's second birthday.
Oh, get in there, get the banners up, get the balloons up.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, it's been great to chat to you, Dan, and it's really been nice to go over all these topics. I'm sorry that I've not been brilliant at hosting this podcast. I'm trying my best, but hopefully it'll get better as we go on.
It's been a pleasure. I've had a lovely evening.
Me too. Well, I don't think I'll be going out and doing my cycling anymore because I was planning on doing that at 10. It's a bit too late now. I'll be a bit scared on the canal.
Sorry, give yourself a day off.
Yeah, I will. Right. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in and listening. If anyone has made it this far, I'd like you to comment your favourite colour with no context in the comments.
Oh, and can you also comment? Um, I loved this podcast, and I have now subscribed to Dan Frowns. Thank
Please,
you.
please do subscribe to Dan Frowns. He makes the magic happen. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you for listening to the
Goodbye,
podcast.
everyone.